Rise and shine. Pour yourself a cup of coffee and tune in to Good Morning Aurora. News, weather, and really cool interviews. Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m.
Good morning, Aurora. The time is 8 o'clock, 8:01 a.m. You are listening to and watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. We hope everybody's nice, doing well today. Good morning to you. It is Thursday, Thursday the 11th of August. This month is moving by really quick. The weather's nice outside, and we've got a great show for you guys today. We have our dear friends, Jose Bosque and Anthony Ortiz, friends of Masons. How y'all doing?
Pretty good. Thank you for having us.
All right, the brothers are here. Anthony's been on the show before. That was a year ago.
Yeah, it was about a year ago.
Okay,
maybe a little bit longer.
Jose's first time. He doesn't have the hat today, but that's all right. The man is still. He definitely has presence. We have the news that you guys love. Good morning to all of you. Dan Barrero is here. Good morning to you, dear sir.
Hey,
Victoria Halet Maldonado, what is up? And Gloria Gerardo too. All right, Friends of Masons is the discussion today. So first of all, you guys are here representing Elgin.
Right.
How's life in Elgin these days?
And it's good.
Things are good? Things are good?
I mean,
all right?
Yeah, I have no complaints. Well, like I told you this morning, I could complain about something, but it would just be something petty that's not even worth complaining about. But it is fixable, so hopefully we could work on it and fix it.
All right. So what's the history of Friends of Masons?
So we incorporated or officially got chartered in 2021 in December of last year.
Okay.
But 2 or 3 years before then, we've unofficially were doing caravans and supporting the community. Just 5 friends, just doing random activities of charity through the city. And then the middle of last year, we're like, we should try to get a 501c3 or organize or do something a little bit more official. And we got together and we made this awesome charity organization. And as if we're saying that when we made the name, we weren't even thinking that we were going to get a good acronym out of it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are calling us FAM now, and we're calling ourselves FAM.
It flows, boy. Yeah. It flows.
So I think it's pretty cool. And so we'll continue doing what we were doing before we got incorporated. And now we're just, I guess you could say we're official.
Okay, all right.
Jesse White gave us the permission to be official, and so did the federal IRS.
Jesse White.
Yeah.
Secretary of State.
Yeah.
Shout out. Dan Burrow says, good morning, Anthony and Jose. You guys are a long way from home.
Yes,
right.
we are.
We came to your neighborhood today.
You should know that we're everywhere, from Carpentersville to Aurora.
That's right. So what is now you guys represent an Elgin Lodge.
Yes.
Is that correct? They're called lodges.
Elgin Lodge, Masonic Lodge. They're called Masonic Lodges.
Masonic Lodge. And what's the number of the lodge?
117.
117. All right. Elgin Masonic Lodge 117. All right. Now the whole organization is made up of Masons, right?
For FAM?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was founded by 5 Freemasons.
All right. Who are the members?
So it's us 2,
okay.
My brother Angel, his brother Eric, and then Joe
McKinnon.
All right. So was there, from the community aspect, you guys are involved already in the community. You guys do a lot. You guys help out in the community already. What does, and I don't mean this in a funny way, but what's FAM doing extra that you guys weren't doing already?
Well, now we have the 501c3 status, which allows us to be able to receive money, and then our goal is really to distribute it back to the community, but to be able to provide a tax deduction to a tax write-off to whoever wants to donate to ours. Because the Elgin Lodge, even though it is a not-for-profit, they discriminate, right? You can only have men there, so you can't be tax exempt.
Okay.
Only property tax exempt.
Okay.
So somebody can't donate money and get a tax write-off if they donate to Elgin Lodge. But if they donate to us, we can give them a tax write-off, and then we funnel the money to organizations that pretty much they need it.
Okay. All right. So one of the recent things, or probably the recent thing that you guys did, was National Night Out.
That was
Let's chop it up. I saw good things, man. I saw good things. I saw cotton candy. You had the right.
Yeah. So
don't ask me a whole lot, man. 'Cause the only thing that I remember is that every time that I look up, I'm like, dang, that line hasn't got smaller.
Yeah.
It got longer actually. So I'll do but it was pretty cool. We were able to give free snow cones and cotton candy with a couple of machines that we purchased for farm.
Yeah, we I guess our trademark starting to turn into cotton candy and snow cones is what people are starting to know us by. So when they see us, they're like, "Oh, what's cotton candy at?"
That's a good way to get people to join, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
the new generation.
yeah, so during National Night Out, we got Mayor Captain, Chief Lally, who else did? Officer Gutierrez. A lot of the people, some of the leadership in Elgin. We got pictures of them make cotton candies, and I actually learned something from the chief. That she used to work. Can I tell her? I guess it's public record. She used to work at Chuck E. Cheese. So she's like, "Oh, you're bringing back my memories of doing cotton candy over there."
Really?
Yeah. I think the best person that was making them was the mayor, and he said it was his first time making a cotton candy. So they came out pretty good.
Who's your mayor?
Mayor Captain.
Dave Captain.
Dave Captain.
Yeah.
I gotta reach out. Maybe see if a brother can get an interview.
Oh, well,
Dave
he
Captain.
probably could. He's going to run for office again.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. So yeah, I asked him if he was going to run again. He said, "Yep." I was like, "Oh, well, best of luck to you, man."
All right.
Best of luck to you.
Now, do you does FAM have a physical location? Are you guys out of the lodge or?
So Lodge and the farm are two separate entities.
Uh-huh.
They're not connected.
All right. I'm sorry if these are naive or novice questions. Just trying to.
No, you're fine.
yeah,
Man.
yeah.
But no, we don't have a physical location yet. So we're like Apple and Microsoft and any other huge corporation. We started out of a garage. So we meet in a garage. Was it the first Friday after the second Monday of the month is our board meeting.
Okay.
And we meet in a garage. So like Steve Jobs and all the other successful people that started in the garage. Yeah.
Keep it ambitious. Yeah. Keep it motivated.
But hey, man, we started in the garage and National Night Out turned into a huge success for Officer Gutierrez. He ended up, I think, probably one of the better ones there. Because I think they had like 15 or so different parties throughout the city. Each cop had like their own area.
Right.
And I think his ended up being the best. Maybe because I'm being biased because we were there, but
Nice.
I think
okay. Yeah. Show some love. Some love.
Yeah.
All right. So Angel, Eric, Joe, Jose, and Anthony makes up the board of FAM.
Yeah.
Okay. I like the fact that, as we talked about, these organizations, the Masons especially. First of all, what drew you guys to become Masons?
Well,
what made you take that step?
I'll tell you a funny story. Like when I first heard about Masons, I thought they were like demonic.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were like satanic, and they were going to take over the world and blah blah blah.
Yeah. Move a little further.
Oh.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
Join us, bro.
sorry. Yeah. So and that was based on my Google searches.
Right.
Like conspiracy theories and all this blah blah blah. And then I found my brother. Became a Mason. I called him up. I was like, "Dude, you became a Freemason?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "You're going to hell," and he got mad. Dude, he didn't talk to me for a minute, and I was still doing volunteering stuff like to a church and things like that. And one day I saw him in a soup kitchen, and I was like, "What the heck? What the heck is he doing in a soup kitchen?" So I called him up. I was like, "Hey man, what's up, bro? What you doing with that?" He's like, "Oh, I'm with the Freemasons and blah blah blah." I was like, "What?" So then I sort of got, dude, the funniest thing, dude. I just Googled good things that Masons do. And it was like a whole new world opened up to me, and it was like, this is the kind of things that I like to do. I like to give back to the community. I like to get involved. And here's an organization that does the same thing with like-minded individuals. Man, let me join this organization and get help for the things that I want to do, because, being a volunteer, the one thing that I found is that you'll have 10, 20, 30 people who say, yeah, I'm down to do this.
Right.
But on the day of, one or two show up.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, This organization, they already been through all that, right? So they have to have the men who want to do it, because it's a volunteer organization. So if they're volunteering to want to come and show up to these things, then
they're down.
Right. I can get their help. I don't even have to worry about,
right,
how many people are going to show up.
Yeah.
So that's what interested me. What about you?
So
I like how you did that. Oh, you're a good co-host, bro.
So I know Jose since I was like 10 or 12 years old, and then I haven't talked to him for like probably 10 years since then.
Okay.
So I moved to California for a couple years. He moved out of state too, and then I ran for city council in 2019 as we ran back into him again, and then I seen he had a ring on, and I'm like, but it wasn't on his ring finger. I'm like, what do you do? Like what's up with the ring? He's like, oh, I'm a Freemason. And I did the same thing. I'm like, oh man, you sacrificed your first love, didn't you, to get in?
Wow.
And I'm like, wow. I was like, well, at least like my wife's still alive, so I know it wasn't her. Maybe it's like your first grade teacher. And then after a while, then I met Joe, and Joe's a Freemason.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, well, Joe's a cool dude. I've known Jose the whole life, so I know he's a good dude. And then starting to meet more guys part of Lodge, I'm like, all right, well, the conspiracy theories that I grew up with too aren't the same thing.
Right.
So then I started looking into it, and then one day I seen that they were doing charity stuff. Me and my brother went and helped them. They were doing a veterans charity thing when Elgin Armory deployed to Afghanistan.
Okay.
I think it was that 2020 or 2019.
I think it was 2020.
Yeah, I wasn't even part of Lodge, but I did go volunteer some time and help them put that together because it's for Armory in my city. So I was like, I'm gonna go help them.
Right.
And I see that they were doing this. I was like, oh man, I'm all about charity. I donate to whatever I could donate to. I see GoFundMe's or birthday fundraisers on Facebook, and I put $20 in every time, even though sometimes I don't even know what I'm donating to.
Right.
If somebody's saying and Facebook says it's a 501c3, it's legit, I'll give them some money. So I asked Jose, I'm like, hey, what does it take to be a Mason? He's like, oh, you did the first step. Because we can't recruit people. People have to ask us they want to be one. Ah. So if you ever say, oh, I got recruited, well, the person's maybe lying, or somebody's doing not supposed to be doing. You're not supposed to be recruiting.
Gotcha.
So I asked him, and then you fill out a petition, application type thing, and then but you have to get voted in by everybody.
Right.
Everybody's got to say yes. Now I'm in, and then I think it's cool, man. Like he said, the volunteer thing is the hardest because some people say they'll show up, and you can show up by yourself, and you have to hold the show down alone.
The donuts and the orange juice. That's all they're there for.
Yeah.
How did speculate? Where did the negativity come in and be associated with that? There's been a lot of notable people in our history in America who've been Freemasons. So where does that come into?
Man,
People have done amazing things for the
I would
country.
say, religion is a very powerful force in this world.
It
is. And they can, they can tell you whatever. And back in the medieval days, people didn't know how to read, and so it's like, hey, the Bible says this, and God says this, and you have to do it. And so it came to a point where one day the Masons' word became evil to the church, right? And so the story is that they were the richest nobles. They loaned money to the church, and then the church couldn't pay it back, so they're like, oh, these guys are heathens, kill them all. And so that's
it's like Knights Templar.
That's where
they did
Friday
the
the
first
13th started. And so I guess the negativity comes from that. And then the other thing is
Friday the 13th.
Yeah, from Knights Templar.
The Knights Templar. Yeah.
What?
It was on a Friday the 13th when they did the decree. This is what. Yeah. From what I understand, so
that's when the King of France did a deal with the Pope at the time, and they rounded up all the Knights Templars and executed them. And that's a Friday the 13th. Yeah.
And that's
when they try to pretty much extinct or eradicate the Knights Templar from the earth. And then the Knights Templar were the guards of the church.
Right.
They were going around protecting the church's land, and then after a while they became too rich and powerful, and then the church like, oh, we gotta get.
Wow, amazing.
That's the story. Yeah, that's the story. I wasn't there.
What does it continue? People they'll just make up for things that they don't know. We're called a secret organization, but
right.
I mean, about us. We're not really secret. The whole world knows about Freemasonry. It's not really secret.
Right.
There's just secrets within Freemasonry, but that's available to any man that wants to become a better man.
Right. And that's the slogan, right? It's
making good men better.
Making good men better. Yeah. Yep. All right. The time is 8:15 a.m. Good morning to Jennifer Ryan Mayton, Linda Figueroa Radecki. Hello to you. Lorraine Drought, good morning. Valeria, my dear friend, good morning to you as well. And Valerie. All right, the time is 8:15. Okay, so we talked about the members. What do people need to know about the Friends of the Masons that they don't already know? I mean, you guys have been around for a little bit of time. What's coming up? I mean, what's next? What's the goals of the organization? Where we're going to be in 5 years?
So what Joe was working on, which is like a big process, is our vetting process to give scholarships out.
Okay.
That's one thing, like you said, what are we doing now that we weren't doing before? What we want to do is give scholarships to kids and students that are trying to continue their education, whether it's trade school, traditional, going to college, or some kind of a voc rehab type of school. And a lot of kids and families can't afford to send their kids to secondary or continued education after high school. So we want to be part of that. We can help them get to the dreams or goals they want to do. That's something new that we want to do.
Okay. All right.
And then being a 501c3, it's easier to raise money, and then that money can go back to educate our kids.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. I like that, man. I like that. So real quick, now we're gonna talk. You guys got an event, the caravan, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna pick that apart like your hair with grease real soon. The time is 8:17. I'm gonna deliver a couple pieces of news real quick to these fantastic people. Okay, next week on Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen, the Illinois General Assembly and the city of Aurora will commemorate the late Dan Dolan, a community leader, with a street dedication at 11 o'clock a.m., Tuesday the 16th. The section of Route 31 in Aurora that runs from East Illinois Ave to East Indian Trail will be dedicated as Dan Dolan Way. According to State Representative Stephanie Kiffelwood, quote, Mr. Dolan was a beloved, respected, and selfless citizen of the city of Aurora, one who dedicated himself to strengthening our community and enriching the lives of local residents. Naming a section of the highway in his honor is a fitting tribute to a man who dedicated so much of his life to the betterment of the community, country, and neighbors. He graduated from East Aurora High School in 1949, and he served in the Navy aboard the USS Knapp during the Korean War. The USS Knapp is a destroyer. He worked as a mailman and sold pots and pans on the side before helping to establish Dolan and Murphy, a real estate firm here in the city of Aurora. Mr. Dolan passed away in February 2020 in Fountain Hills, Arizona, 2 days after his 89th birthday. All right. Also, don't forget, told you guys about this just on Tuesday. Aurora Central Catholic High School is pleased to announce Christian Rago is the new head football coach and assistant dean. He brings nearly 10 years of combined college and high school coaching experience to ACC. In his new role, Rago will lead training sessions, create game plans, direct players during gameplay, and provide one-to-one coaching. An assistant dean, Rago will lead ACC's advanced fitness class program and aid with the planning, coordination, and administration of other school programs and activities. ACC began as two separate secondary schools in 1926, Madonna Catholic High School and Roncalli High School. Madonna is an all-girls school, Roncalli an all-boys school. They merged in 1968 to form a co-educational school, ACC. Today, the community-centered school operates under the direction of the Rockford Diocese. Shouts out. All right, the time is 8:19 a.m. Gilbert Lagas is here. Good morning to you.
What's up, brother?
Good morning. What is up, brethren? Okay, so let's talk about the September event. What's happening? I mean, I see the flyer. I see a lot of people on it. It looks good. What we gonna do? What's the plot? What's happening?
So, you can start it.
It originally started in 2020, and it was started off as more like a
in the garage. A
garage
thought.
The idea, actually, yeah, you're right. The idea started in the garage. Now, like, you know what we haven't done? There was a time in Elgin where we used to cruise around with our flags.
Okay.
And then they made an ordinance.
Mason flags?
No,
Mexican.
Just Mexican flag.
Okay.
That's what it's really
excuse me. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Hispanic heritage event. But you know, back in the 90s, early 2000s, they passed some ordinances, and we could no longer do it. Right, we were getting pulled over, and so everybody was afraid to do it.
Right.
I don't know what it was. We were talking about freedom. We were talking about the First Amendment, and I was like, you know what I miss? I miss doing these caravan things. You know, like there's no pride for us. We're such a big population in Elgin. We have zero voice. We have zero representation. Who knows we even exist? It's like the 90s beat the Latino community into hiding, and they never came out. You know, they avoid problems. That, you know, and you see that a lot often. Right. They don't. You know, Latino community. They don't want any beef. They just want to go to work, come home, take care of their families, and
Right.
let it go. But we know from being involved in politics that you need to be involved, man. Like everybody that wants this change, and they're just hiding. It's not going to happen. So we decided let's do a caravan, and we had a little bit of issues at first. The chief resolved them. Dude, it was such a fun event, man. And all we did was it was like a 30-minute drive around Elgin.
What were those first issues?
Just I think the first one was some cop came up, and he was because we didn't know how many people were going to show up. So
we were expecting like 10 people, 10 cars.
So we're thinking 20 cars. I'm thinking if when they asked me, I was like, for sure 5, because I know I'm coming, he's coming. I got kids that have cars, So you know what I'm saying. And for sure 5 or 10, but maybe 20. Well, maybe 100. I said.
And it was a Bears football game. Like
the Bears
watching the Bears game.
I don't know who's going to show up, but I wasn't expecting that many people. And on a day of, dude, there was like 100 people that showed up. And the cop that was assigned to help us out on the route was like, "What? You guys said 20?" I was like, "No. I said between 20 and 100.
Gotcha.
You guys went with 20. I don't know. I didn't know how many were gonna come. I knew for sure us." And so he's like, "No, I'm not gonna do it." So we were gonna turn that caravan into just a protest, And at that time, with all the riots and everything that was going on, we could, like we were just gonna do it,
right?
But he called the chief, and the chief straightened everything out. Man, we had such a fun event. We did it again the second year.
I think we got like triple the amount of cars showed up.
Yeah, dude.
Damn.
There was so many cars, dude. There was so many people.
So the first year we ended at Butera Supermarket.
Okay.
It's by Casino downtown Elgin. And I think we probably got like a quarter of the parking lot filled in. So like, all right, well, next year we got to plan for a bigger parking location be if we get more people, we have to be able to put all these cars.
Right.
So we won't block traffic or make other residents in Elgin mad that we're causing a traffic jam. But the second year, 300 cars showed up, if not more. And they couldn't, we went to Lord's Park on the east side of Elgin. We were like, damn, like, we're still not going to fit in here. And we ended up blocking up all the route. I think it was Route 25 on Liberty Street. I think it was blocked for like 10 minutes.
The cars just, they had to turn left into the park.
And they couldn't. We ran out of parking spots. So the people started parking. Like, just park in the grass, dude.
Right.
It hasn't rained, nothing. The grass isn't gonna. The cops were really cool with it. They're like, oh no, we'll get them in here. Don't worry about it. They'll get in here.
Okay.
And then this year, we'll probably
we want to use that energy, because every year we have a crowd of people and nothing to do. We have all this energy that we've built up with nothing. So we're trying to establish something where like maybe I don't know, some kind of festival or something that would allow people to, hey, listen, we just had a blast cruising through Elgin.
Right.
Let's continue the fellowship.
How can Good Morning Aurora sponsor it? How can we help do something to it?
You're doing it now, man.
Yeah, you're doing it right now.
Get the word out.
All right.
People will watch this. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it on the 17th on Saturday at Elgin High, guys.
Saturday, September 17th.
Yep. Saturday, September 17th. We stage at Elgin High at what time?
1 p.m.
At 1.
And then we're leaving at 2.
Yeah, we stage at 1. We give everybody an hour to get there, and then we're leaving at 2.
All right.
And it's about a 30. It's just a big circle around
the city.
Okay. Dan Burrell says probably 500 this year.
Man, also, hey,
500.
We need you and your motorcycle people to come through.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, because Dan, that's what he does. He got the the wild hogs.
Right.
Yeah, so we got some sponsors this year, so let's give them a shout out.
Shout out to the sponsors.
All right,
okay.
this is in no particular order, just in the circle of where the flyer is. So we got a local 582, the laborers out of Elgin and Kendall County.
Okay.
Myself for my city council campaign.
Okay.
Lamas and St. Jules law firm. Elgin Firefighters Local 439. The Elgin Police Department, which they've always been awesome partnering with us to get this done.
Yeah.
Representative Hernandez down here in Aurora. Senator Castro, State's Attorney Mosser, Representative Hirschweier, and Mr.
Mara?
Yeah.
More? Okay.
And Mr. Barrero's wife, the Kane County Circuit Clerk, Teresa Barrero.
All right. Good stuff. Shout out to all them great sponsors.
Yeah, thank you guys. Woo.
That's the squad. All right. Since you brought it up, and since it does matter, I do want to go back a little bit to the So is the Latino community in Elgin where, I mean, we could always be doing better for all of our communities, but now seems like it's better than it was in the 90s we were just talking about.
Yeah.
But what else does the community need to be doing? What else do we need to inject in the community to let them know about or to do and get out and do?
Well, they just got a huge blow on Monday, or was it last week? So there's a flea market shopping mall in his neighborhood called the Elgin Mall, and the property owners just sold the whole shopping center to some new management.
Yeah,
and they just gave them a 30-day notice that they're shutting down that part of the store. And there's probably like over 100 vendors in there.
Damn.
And they've been there since Menards moved out in the early 2000s. So it's been over 20 years since Menards moved to Randall Road in Elgin. And so now a lot of those shop owners established their roots, their connections, and their businesses within the Elgin Mall. And now they're getting displaced. And many of them have no idea where they're going to set up shop, how they're going to continue to fund their families or raise their families, because now they're technically going to be homeless.
Right.
They don't know where to place their shop. So when things like that happen, I think it discourages the Latino community too. Like, oh, we had this for 20 years and then now we're closing down shop. And now where we're supposed to go.
Right.
There's another flea market in Elgin, but from what I hear, they're already to capacity. Like there's no available retail space within that place. And then there's the Milk Pail on 25 by Santa's Village in Dundee. And I personally never been in there, but I think it's an outdoor thing. So I think that they don't have like during the winter they can't set up shop outside because they get snowed on.
Right.
Plus it's probably really cold. So I think we need more support in the Hispanic community where they know that we have their backs and to come out.
Because really, like this whole thing with the Elgin Mall, who can they turn to?
Right
now when they're in, you know what I'm saying? Like they're on their own. Really, at the end of the day, and this is their livelihood. This is things that they've worked for 20 years.
Right.
And now where do they turn? You know, like who's going to support them?
Right.
I mean, I feel like Elgin doesn't have anybody that our people can turn to and say, hey guys, we need this. Because who's going to listen?
You so Jose, you're a carpenter. Is that what you?
No, I'm a senior analyst at IT. I do carpentry, like woodworking stuff and all, like on my free time.
You said something about you before the camera and the mic came on. You gave a great description of building something with wood.
Yeah.
Like it starts off rough.
Yeah.
And then you said
sand it down. So like what I was saying was that like my leadership style. It depends. You know, I have different leadership styles, but when you're trying to get things done, you need to be 80 grit. You know, if you want to try to get a really fine piece of wood to look really nice, you got to start with an 80 and then rub all the stuff off. So sometimes I walk around like an 80 grit, and you know the rough stuff is gonna fall off. You know the parts that I don't need.
Right.
I think we could all live our life like that because we all have baggages and like people and things that hold us down, and you know, and you know, like I don't have any problem telling people what's up and being myself, you know, and if people don't like it, rub off. You know, at the end of the day, like the plans that we have are going to continue.
Right.
It's not going to stop. But yeah.
Because we don't want to be local forever. Like our
goal is that is the goal
to be statewide, national, international.
Right.
Which I know they're huge goals, but if you don't have a goal, then you have nothing to strive for.
Exactly. That's right. I mean, what you're doing it for? You know, I mean, what do we? Yeah, exactly. Nobody. Even when you're in the garage, the point is to get out of the garage. The garage is just a place where we're chopping it up at. This is just where we're doing this at.
Like Steve Jobs when he was in the garage of his parents' house. Like he probably never thought that he would be have $1 billion company when he finally passed away.
Right.
Like the guy was and the people were telling him that he couldn't do it. Oh, you can't do it in a garage. You can't make a computer place in a garage.
Yeah, watch me.
Yeah,
watch me.
The same thing with the Amazon. What's his name? Bezos. I think that guy started in a garage too. Yeah. He was just selling books, and now he's selling everything you think of. Some people don't even leave their house because they would go on Amazon and buy their stuff.
Yeah, just like me. I was sitting on the side of my tub, and now look.
Yeah,
you know,
started from the bottom, now you're here, right? That's like, you know, I think that's our greatest story. Is that you know, like, you know, growing up in the 90s, it was rough. Like I've said it before, it was rough, and we were not looked at like the best types of citizens. So for me, it's I have a lot of pride knowing that I can sit across these people who, when I was a kid, used to look down on me and my people, and it's powerful now being able to sit across from the police chief or the mayor or elected officials and know, hey guys, look, this is the problem, this is what's going on. You have to include us in the conversations of anything that's going on in Elgin, because
we're here.
There was a time when we were scumbags, but now look at us.
Yep.
Sitting across the table from each other, discussing things that are important to my community and our community, things that we both can work towards and make better.
Right.
I think
that for me, that's the most powerful. Starting from the bottom and now.
That's right.
Look where we're at.
Yeah, one thing I like to see come back is Elgin used to have. So we had a Cinco de Mayo fest, and then they called it iFest, like International Fest, where they had all different kinds of cultures bring their foods or their cuisines or whatever that they had pride in their heritage. I think Elgin got rid of it in 2019, or maybe it was in 2020 during the pandemic. But there's no future of bringing it back. And that was during May, like during May 5th, during that calendar time. And if they bring that back, I think that would bring a lot of the Latino community back out and the African American community and get everybody back together,
right?
And celebrate each other,
right?
And right now,
that's the goal that I want to work
with.
Is man, there's no room for this guy does this and this. We need to all work together because the powers that be are just so powerful without everybody sticking together.
Exactly.
They do whatever they want, and who's going to stop them if nobody's involved?
Right.
You think about it like I've been involved in politics for a while, and I can tell you that wherever I go, it seems like it's a group of people that are in the know. When I ran for office a couple years ago, and the guy I ran against came out and was calling me a criminal and doing all this stuff, and I had a lot of people like, man, Jose, aren't you doesn't it worry you that people, what are people going to think? No, at the end of the day, because think about it, when we go to fundraisers, it's the same people.
Right.
The people that got the mailer, they're the same people. It's the people that vote. They don't. I mean, they matter to me, the voters, but who matters to me more are people that know me. The people are going to read the stuff. They'll be like, they're going to laugh because they know. You know what I'm saying? The other people, I got to convince them. But do I really got to convince them? Not really, because I'm going to be me. I'm going to do, I have goals and I'm going to accomplish those goals. Whether this guy wants to say that or this guy wants to say, you can say whatever. Yeah. Like I was telling you earlier, man, I grew up in the 90s, dude. There's not a whole lot that people can throw at me where it's going to be a big hurdle that I have to jump over.
Right. Yep. All right, the time is 8:34 a.m. You are listening to and watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. Our guests today are friends of the show, friends of Masons. How about that? See, you see how that happened? It just kind of flew off.
Nice segue.
We are friends of the show.
Yeah,
that's a fact. All right, but real quick, before I'm going to read a couple more pieces of news. But before I get into this story, I just kind of want to piggyback off what you said. Like, ladies and gentlemen, the people who watch this show, I'm proud of all of our listeners, our fans of the show, our community partners who help us out and tune in every day. You guys know that we all think and act the same way, but for those people who we're blessed to have new viewers, I see new names in the chat. Unity and community. There is absolutely no time to start dividing and picking, I don't know about that, or I'm only going to vote for the guy who looks like me. There is no time for that.
None.
Time is running out, in fact.
Yeah.
So there is no time for any of that. We must work as one hand to climb the rungs of the ladder. Okay. Stay on the path, guys. Dan Barrero. Oh, we can hit the clap for that. You know what, Dan? Dan Barrero. That's a good guy. Yes, he is. Now, that's a guy who's a community leader.
Oh, yeah.
That's a man. So he's been a great inspiration for our show. Okay. Learn about the Aurora FEC, the Financial Empowerment Center at the Aurora Public Library on August 18th at 6 p.m. This will be in person, streamed online at the Aurora Public Library Facebook page. This will be held in room 125 of the Santori branch in downtown Aurora here. The FEC offers free financial coaching to all Aurorans. Your local radio host will be there on that day. Also, don't forget, tomorrow there's going to be a great back-to-school health and resource fair at VNA Healthcare, 400 North Highland Avenue. Our Friends of the Neighbor Project will be there as well. This will take place from 1 to 3 p.m., sponsored by Aetna Better Health of Illinois. There will be resources of all kinds, health screenings, and much more. For more information, call 866-329-4701 with any questions. And last but not least, October 16th, Marie Wilkinson's Food Pantry is hosting their Fill the Bowls event at Gaslight Manor. This will be from 1 to 4 p.m. and it'll be a lot of fun. Raffles, live music, great company, and a wine pull. What is a wine pull? What is that? Is that like you just reach your hand in and you don't know you pull out the bottle? Is that, oh, I got a...
Like apple bobbing?
I would say yeah.
Okay. Yeah, shout out to the wine pull. I like that, you know. Brother likes wine. Cabernet!
I don't know. I'm not a big wine guy.
No?
Nah. I tried it, but
Only at work.
It's not an acquired it's not an acquired taste that I have.
I'm a wine dude.
You're a wine connoisseur?
Yeah, I do, man. I like a good wine.
Are you a red guy, a white guy?
I'm a red guy.
Right.
Yep. So fun fact, I worked at Olive Garden for a little bit when I was in high school.
Oh, so it's all you know, all the tricks.
Hell yeah. That's when I learned, like, oh no, with the seafood, baby, get the white wine. You gotta put that's distinguishing.
Yeah.
It's good when you're single, you know?
Yeah.
Like, oh man, he know his stuff. Okay, Pinot Grigio. That's right. All right, the time is 8:37 a.m. Good morning to Evelio Ortiz, Josue Pais. Good morning to you. Gary Strong, good morning to you as well. And Norma Peterson, our dear friend. Norma Peterson is the executive director of Document the Abuse. Learn about the EAA, that's the Evidentiary Abuse Affidavit, and its help in placement and law enforcement. The time is 8:38. Okay, so City Council.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. What's up? Isn't the City Council good enough? I mean, what are you going to bring to the table with the City Council? Isn't it spicy enough, man? What's happening?
Well, we're going to have, there's rumor there's going to be 2 open seats. So two of the council members aren't going to rerun.
Okay. We're not giving away anything special here, but is this topic for discussion? Is this all right to talk about?
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care. So, but I am going to run. I'm going to run again in this coming up year, which petitions start in August 30th.
Okay.
How many days are in August? 31? I think it's 31. So the last day of August is petitions start up,
31.
and then they're due the Monday before Thanksgiving. So yeah, I'm gonna run again. I'm gonna put my foot to the floor and drive my car as fast as I can. And we hit 12,000 doors last year, and we lost by 35, 40 votes, something like that.
Wow.
So the goal this year is 15,000, if not more, because for every 1,000 doors you hit, you probably get 100 votes. So it's like about 10% is the average. So if we get 15,000, maybe we'll get over the edge this time.
Right.
So that's the plan. I plan on still, like, some of the things I ran on last time, dude, is still not happening. Like city council or city hall transparency. Like when they appoint people to boards and commissions, it's still done in an executive session. And there's an AG opinion out there from the Illinois Attorney General that since it's people being appointed to public bodies, it should be public record of who's being appointed and why. How can it
be executive session if you have things like the Open Meetings Act and whatnot? I mean, how can the two is?
Well, I think the way the city of Elgin classifies it as is that it's like an employment thing. So like anything that's employment based can be an executive session because they're talking about employees or giving people.
Okay.
Even though it's a volunteer job, we don't get paid. I'm thinking that's how they have it classified as, even though we're doing a public body. Like I'm on the Elgin Police and Fire Commission, and some people get appointed to that commission, and we're a public body because we interview the police officers and firefighters, or people that want to be police officers and firefighters, and then we give recommendation if we will hire them, and if they get hired, then if you live in Elgin, you're like, okay, Anthony said this guy would be a good firefighter or a good police officer, or this girl would be a good firewoman or police woman. Like, what qualifications does Anthony have, or how was the decision made that he got elected on that board over 5 other people, or however many people applied for the board at that time?
Uh-huh.
So I want to change that. I want that to be public. So if we're there debating Jose to be on the Human Relations Commission, we'll debate it in public. We're like, all right, Jose has this, this, and this, and somebody's like, well, Jose doesn't have that, that, and that, and then it'll be an active discussion for the public to know, like, hey, half the council voted this way, half the council voted that way, and these are the reasons why some people voted no, and some people voted yes.
Okay. All right.
And then this is like infrastructure. Like just this past Wednesday, somebody on the council is getting their street redone in front of their house, and I drove that street when I seen the agenda, and their street looks damn near perfect. But then there's Walnut Avenue in Elgin that there's potholes everywhere. It's like pothole city. Villa Street on the east side, somebody put a picture on Facebook the other day that the city just threw a bunch of gravel in there and called it a day. And I guess somebody hit it and bent one of their rims. Right. That's according to Facebook. You can't believe anything on Facebook. But the picture was there. And then I looked at the location, and it's right next to one of the liquor stores on that street. How is streets that are good already getting redone, but the failing infrastructure in the lower income neighborhoods aren't?
Right. So for those who are unfamiliar with the layout of Elgin, like myself and everything, what are the dispersants of people? Is it the east side that lacks resources or needs more?
It's like the inner city, I guess, because there's like parts of like the west side that are lacking, and then the east side, it's like the inner part, but everything on the outskirts, like the newer development areas, obviously they're brand new, they're probably like 20 years old, 25 years old, so they're still in fabulous condition, but it seems like some of those are the first ones to get redone. Once the blacktop isn't black anymore, it's starting to turn a little gray because of salt. Right. They want to replace it. But then we have these failing streets and other neighborhoods that are minority neighborhoods that seems like they're not getting the same resources.
Gotcha. All right. For those who are, so we've got a lot of listeners who have their own businesses, and they have their own goals and ambitions with the things that they're trying. Some of them have businesses that they just started. Some have been going on for a year, and some of them are going from doing pop-up little demonstration kind of things to bigger stuff. What's the process of acquiring or becoming a 501c3? Is it easy? Was it difficult? So can you talk a little bit about that for anybody who is interested in becoming one?
Google is your number one friend.
Google is your friend.
Google is your friend. Well, yeah, Google's your friend.
Sometimes.
Yeah. You got
what you're trying to look up.
Yeah, you got to figure out how to word it. If you word it the right way, you'll find what you want. If not, you get some spam. But I think we got lucky, dude, because when I submitted it, it said that the federal IRS takes like 120 days or something like that to get a response if you're going to be approved or not approved. So first we had to come up with bylaws of like how it's going to be ran, how many board members we're going to have. We're going to have non-voting board members, voting board members, term limits for each position. If we're going to give out scholarships, if we're going to have conflict of interest, whistleblowing policy, like if somebody wants to say like somebody else is doing something bad, what's a policy or procedure for whistleblowing, or conflict of interest. So if one board member is on there getting paid and they have a relative on the board, can that relative also get paid? There's like a bunch of like bylaws you have to create. But in Google, we found like a template, and it helps you like walk you through it. So we use that template, and then we just customized it to fit our needs and fit what our organization is doing. And then once you get that template, we voted on it and we all signed it. And then with the bylaws, and then first you have to have your incorporation letter from the Secretary of State, Illinois Secretary of State. And with that, $600 I think it was $600. Yeah. We submitted our application to the IRS. And I think it was less than 2 months, man. They gave us first, like a month in, we get a letter from the IRS, like, oh crap, we got approved. When I opened it, it was like, oh, you're missing a piece of information.
Damn.
But what was cool with it is that I was like, dang, we have to do it all over again. Is that in that letter, there's a paragraph that we missed. So in the letter is like, you just have to amend your bylaws and add this paragraph in, but you do not have to resubmit your entire packet again. Just sign this letter at the bottom saying that you are going to amend your bylaws and add in that paragraph and mail this back. Or fax it back. What I did is I'm faxing it. I'm not going to mail it. It's taking 3-4 days to get back to wherever it's going for the IRS. So I faxed it back to them, and then 30 days after that, we get a letter saying that we're approved.
All right, congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you. It seemed pretty smooth. But I think it also helped. Quick. Yeah, I think it also helped too that I work for a law firm, so it was kind of easier to understand like what we need and what we don't need.
Legalese, they call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Legalese.
Because I try to because if you could look up any nonprofit on the IRS website, so that's my first step is go on there and see if they posted anybody else's bylaws.
Okay.
They try to copy those and get ideas from there, but you can't find them anywhere except for like a template that we found.
Right. How long have you guys known each other?
Oh, man, so
I think I was like 10 or 12.
Yeah, we were kids.
Really?
Like the early 2000s.
Well, yeah. Well, I was a young adult. I
Yeah.
guess back then it's weird, man. Cause I look at my kids and like, man, you guys have a whole different life, dude.
Whole different.
It's like when we were kids, we had to be adults. You know, by the time we're like 17, 18. You know, I look at my kids now; they're still kids, and they're 19, 20.
Right.
Well, yeah, we've known each other for
I think I moved into, cause I think he lived in that neighborhood first.
Yeah,
And then I think we moved in like
95.
99, 98-ish, somewhere around there. We moved into that neighborhood and we were there until, when did I go to high school? 2005? I think around 2005, 2006.
Okay.
We moved out of that neighborhood and that's where I live now. And then I've known since like 98, 99.
And you're a Marine Corps veteran.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Shout out, man. Shout out. We've talked about that in our first interview.
Yep.
And everything. So
Yeah, we just agreed to agree that the Marines were the best ones, but
yeah.
that's a different topic.
Right. A different topic for another day. So Saturday, September 17th,
1 p.m.
1 p.m.
Elgin High School.
Elgin High School. Okay. Bring your whips, right?
Bring your rides, your
Bring
flags.
Bring the
For the
flags.
flag.
And it's not only
And
in
it's
Mexico.
it's only Mexico.
There's 9 other countries that celebrate Independence Day in September. So
Honduras, I think is
yeah.
one. Uruguay.
so if you go there and you see all their flags,
Venezuela.
Right.
it's because they also celebrate their independency
Wow.
in September.
Oh, interesting.
And some of them even have it on the same day because a lot of them won it from Spain on the same day. They all got together, and I don't know if they all got together, but the same exact day they all removed themselves under the Spain leadership.
Yeah, that Spain had to relinquish control of their colonies on the same day. Yeah. Wow. I didn't know that. Fascinating. See, this is what I love about doing this show. Let me
I bet you learned something.
scratch it. That's why I love doing this. I learn something new all of the time. I told y'all about AID, talking to the lady Lori Baker.
I wouldn't even know that.
Yeah, I learned something new all the time. That was shocking.
Yeah, but next year what we want to do, man, we tried to do it this year, but we ran out of time and working with government, they have like time limits when you can submit special permit applications.
Right.
As we're going to have a carnival next year. So we've been partnering and talking to Windy City Amusement.
Okay.
So we're going to get it in the books probably by November, be on the schedule, have the application submitted, and we're planning on doing it in South Elgin.
If God continues to bless Good Morning Aurora, we would be proud to financially sponsor or help you guys in some way.
Oh, sweet.
We really would, man. We really would. That's because this
Not
show.
come do a show if you can't financially support. You could.
Absolutely, yeah. I'll come out there and do something, provide media or something. Because with the goals that you guys have, as Masons, it's different from what we're doing, but I have the same goal, man. This is the same thing. It's like to provide opportunity to give people a voice who never had it.
Yeah.
Yep.
You don't have to. Hopefully in 10 years we'll be blessed that perhaps there may be a fee to get an interview, but that's not the point. The point is for people who never had nothing, who never had a chance to, you got to submit and maybe pay to get a table in the back of the vendor show way the hell back. No, hell no. Like you should have the same opportunity. You should have the same access to media as anybody else, So
That's a hard part for, like you said, the new businesses and organizations. Some of them are brand new and have no connections.
Right.
Like we were like 3-4 years in, so we knew a lot of people in the city of Elgin. We knew you, so we reached out to you like, hey, let's hit up Curtis to see if he'll give us a time slot. But there's probably new businesses that, like, they have no idea who you are. And if they do know you, they don't like, how do I get hold of this guy?
Yeah.
Or they're doing a business in Aurora, but they don't know the mayor or they don't know any council people to get advice on how to do applications or stuff. So so I'm kind of glad that we started a couple years ago and got to know everybody. So when we did decide to incorporate and become, I guess, official, it was a little bit of an easier process because we knew who to ask the questions to when we hit a roadblock. Like, hey, how do we do this, or how do we get this done?
Yeah, like when I started to become when I started even contemplating being a PC and everything, I was like right here by the King County government, I was like, oh, okay. So I started to listen and learn. Alex, talk to people, sit down, listen. How do I do it? Canvas, knock on doors, learn, get signatures like that. I didn't know any of that before. So you have to be open and you have to be teachable.
Yeah.
Something my dad told me. You have to be teachable. You don't know everything. You have to be teachable.
So one thing that I realize is the older I get, the more I realize that little I knew when I knew it all.
Right. All right. Dan says Elgin needs to adopt the ward system like Aurora. Aurora has 10 wards and 2 at-large seats. The at-large system in Elgin makes it difficult to have representation across the city.
I agree. With that.
We have 3 council members that live in the same neighborhood. And the southeast side of Elgin hasn't had representation, I think, ever.
Yeah, never.
Damn.
Yeah.
So Elgin is behind.
Elgin is behind.
To put it mildly, and not criticizing.
Well,
is it by accident or is it by design?
Facts.
That's what we got to get to.
The system's terrible.
If it's been designed that way to keep a certain power in power,
right?
I believe we need to change it because I know for a fact that there's people who are not really looking out for the interests of the community. There's like a couple of guys who have all the power, really.
Right.
It's like, how do we vote them out?
Right.
Oh, well, you can. You have to vote these guys in first, and then if they want to, then they can.
Right.
And these guys are the ones that are making all the decisions for the path for Elgin.
Mondo. Mike, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, yeah, you're good.
Mondo. Mike Hess, good morning. Casildo, good morning. And our dear friend Robin Freeman. This is why I make friends everywhere I go, listening and learning. I humble myself to stay true to myself and business. Amen to that.
Yeah.
Amen to that. All right. September 17th is your day. Now I got to tell you something. There's a small conflict of interest on the 17th, I must admit. Because on the 17th, the greatest event in the history of Aurora is going to be taking place. The Neighbor Project has their fundraiser.
Oh, okay.
No.
Yeah, but is that in daytime or is that an evening event?
It's an evening event. So yeah, y'all can hit the caravan, hit the parade, hit the event, and then come on down here to downtown Aurora. The Neighbor Project is having Starry Night. Great fundraiser with music and entertainment at the venue here downtown, right across the street from the Neighbor Project. It'll be great, honoring the stars in our community who've done a lot to help others financially, bringing people out of.
So we're gonna see your picture there?
No, you won't see my picture.
Oh man,
I'll be on stage.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah,
I'm seeing the show.
Yeah, I'll be on stage, man. So I got some invites for you guys too.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah. So hang out in Elgin. Then nighttime, go home, take a shower, get your best on, and come on down to downtown Aurora.
What's the dress code?
The dress code is relaxed. We look forward to having a nice evening, a nice relaxed dress.
I'm having a show for my 4-piece suit.
You can do that. Yeah, you can. Yeah, Starry Night. Awesome.
You first.
Okay. So real quick, Anna Ortiz, good morning to you. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Word, these cats know what's up. Yes, they do. They're friends of ours. Time is 8:55. What did we miss? All right, we talked about the history of the organization.
Going back to that for a second. So even though Elgin Lodge and FAM aren't together, we're all part of the same lodge. Elgin was founded on Freemasonry.
Really?
The first Sherman Hospital was donated to Sherman Hospital to be a hospital by a Freemason.
Whose name was Sherman?
Yeah, his name was Sherman. That's why his name
Last
after
name.
him.
Really?
And the first mayor of Elgin, his dad was a Freemason. So he was the first mayor, first doctor of Elgin. His dad was a Freemason.
That's amazing.
So Elgin Lodge was chartered in 1852.
Yeah.
When was the city of Elgin founded? It had to be it. Was that after
I think it's like 8 years.
I think it's time to look at Google now.
Elgin Lodge, and it's number 117.
Yeah.
117. All right. Damn, that's very cool. Elgin was founded on Freemasonry. All right. How can people contact Friends of Masons?
So we made it easy. So everything on social media, from LinkedIn to Instagram to Facebook. What else do we have? To our charity PayPal account.
TikTok.
We don't have TikTok. Word up.
Is go on Facebook and put Friends of Masons. It's Friends with an S and Masons with an S. Friends of Masons.
Hold up the sticker though. Hold up the sticker so I can zoom in on that.
Wait, hold on. I didn't get my pedicure done today, so my fingers might look kind of rusty.
It's official. There it is. Friends of Masons. They are our brothers. Good brothers, man.
And
Jose Bosque, Anthony Ortiz, Angel, Eric, and Joe.
Yeah.
And then I think the thought behind the logo, because it's not really a handshake, it's more like a
grip.
A grip. Yeah, there we go. Because not every first interaction with somebody is always a handshake.
Right.
Sometimes it's a pound,
right,
or a what's up, or a head nod.
Right.
So when we're meeting people, it's not always a handshake. It could be whatever. So
right.
This grip here is like us meeting and interacting with everybody.
Community. Right. Yeah. That's right. All right. The time is 8:57 a.m. So the show ends on a positive note. What is your message today for not only the people of Aurora, but the people of Elgin, especially?
I think for everybody, it's if you want to see change, you have to be involved, and
you got to be change. You got to be the change that you want to see, because like the kids in my neighborhood, I tell them, I hate to tell it to you guys. You guys have all these things that you want to change in government, and you care about. You have to get involved, because the people that are there now don't care about your needs.
Absolutely.
If you want your needs met and your voice heard, you have to be that person. You really care enough. Like what's his name said? Dr. Seuss. In that one movie. If you care a lot, I don't even know how to quote, but you got to care enough to do something about it.
Right.
You can't just be like, I wish there was change, and just send it off into Facebook or social media and expect,
somebody else to make 100 people to.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Right.
Let me take up that cross.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's right. Stop typing in all caps in the city council meeting and all that. Like, why don't they do this? You can at least do a public comment, or you can run for something. Anything. You can do something.
We even got to get in politics. You start a charity. If you want to see kids and youth that play sports or do something, but they can't afford it.
Right.
Start a charity. Go volunteer. Donate. Like, it doesn't always have to be politics. It could be whatever. Because some people's change might not be a political change. It might be a community outreach change.
Right. Absolutely.
But you have to be involved to make the change you want to see. You can't expect somebody else to do that change for you.
And the other piece of advice I would say, don't get discouraged if things don't go your way right away.
Right.
It happens. Like I said earlier, 100 people will say they want to do something, and 3 will show up.
Right.
So that's part of life. Don't get discouraged, and just continue with the goal.
Right.
Perfect example. So we got a phone call from the village of South Elgin saying that our permit got denied for the carnival this year because it wasn't within their 90 days. Like, all right, cool, which sucked. But that evening was National Night Out. We went to that, and it was a freaking blast. And they totally didn't forget, but it wasn't as bad of a blow or speed bump, because we posted stuff on Facebook. Everybody loved it. EPD shared our stuff, and then it was awesome.
Absolutely.
So you might hit one road bump, but then another door opens.
So before I give my goodbye, I want to say shout out to all the sponsors for the event on the 17th. Senator Castro, Elgin Police Department, Elgin Fire Department 439.
Yeah.
Firehouse 439, is that?
It's the local number.
Local Union 439. Lamas and St. Jules law firm, and Local 582.
Yeah. Laborers.
All right.
What about Mark?
Oh yeah, you forgot Barbara.
Barbara Hernandez. Damn, my bad.
My girl Barbara, if you're watching this, shout out to Barbara.
Yeah, my bad. She always gets the shout out though.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
The circuit clerk, Teresa. Representative Hashwire.
Marva Hirschwire.
Hirschwire.
Yeah.
I always mess up her name. Sorry if you're watching. That was it, right?
That's it. And all the other little donations.
Oh yeah, we
There was a lot.
we
There's
did
a lot of people
Facebook.
that didn't donate the $300 sponsorship level, but man, a lot of people donated.
Right.
Yeah, we did a Facebook fundraiser in June or May, and just with like grassroots donations, we raised like $2,000. Not just the $5 at a time. Like I already hear the politicians, $5 count. I'm like, you're running a national campaign, $5 don't count. But when you think of national, there's 200 million people in the United States. $5 do count.
Right.
And for us on the little level, the $5 helped a lot.
Right.
So I appreciate everybody that's donated the $5.50 or just the share on Facebook or the shout out.
Even the share on Facebook or
Right.
a shout out. Yeah.
All right, the time is now 9:01. This is a great extra minute. Hope that you guys all have a blessed, positive, and wonderful day. Tune in tomorrow for another great episode of Good Morning Aurora. We got the Boy Scouts coming on here tomorrow, so it'll be a really good one. Get ready for that. Have a fantastic and motivated rest of the day. Get out there and change something. Be the change that you want to see. Don't just sit and think about it. See what you can do about it. Take care of yourself and each other.
So more to be.
My first time. I mean, you, Anthony. You guys are the first. You guys.